any discussion of the 49ers offense usually revolves around the skill position players. That's understandable when you consider the glory days of the franchise featured back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks in Joe Montana and Steve Young, along with wide receivers like Dwight Clark and Freddie Solomon in the early days, then Jerry Rice, John Taylor, and Terrell Owens, not to mention explosive running backs like Roger Craig and Ricky Watters. Fast forward to the current team, and the discussion is about how the 49ers offense will be unstoppable with weapons like Raheem Mostert, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. Throw in Kyle Shanahan calling the plays, and it's not going to be fair for the rest of the league. That's what we often hear. What is often overlooked, though, in these discussions is that the role of the offensive line is extremely important in the success that the offense has overall. While the 49ers struggled to get the offense going in 2020, most of it can be traced back to the loss of Jimmy Garoppolo for the majority of the season, along with injuries to Mostert, Samuel, and Kittle. But the offensive line faced a number of injuries as well, which really set the offense back even further. For starters, the center position was in flux throughout training camp and in the first half of the season. With Richburg not able to return after the injury suffered in 2019, the expectation was for Ben Garland to continue to man that position, just as he had at the end of the 2019 season and through the postseason. Things became further complicated when Garland was injured during training camp a year ago. The injuries to Richburg and Garland forced San Francisco to move Daniel Brunskill, who had been expected to start at right guard, to center through training camp. Brunskill would end up bouncing back and forth between guard and center throughout the whole first half of the season. This instability would hurt the offensive line all year long. Time and time again, a play would be rendered unsuccessful due to a missed call along the line of scrimmage, which would result in a defensive player being left unblocked. The issues up front in 2020 led San Francisco to make a number of large investments in the offensive line moving forward. The first move that San Francisco made was locking up starting left tackle Trent Williams. The 6-year, $138.06 million contract made the 8-time Pro Bowler the highest paid player at this position in NFL history. But while the signing of Williams grabbed headlines, the move by San Francisco to sign Alex Mack in free agency may have been the most important in terms of shoring up the offensive line. Mack has shown the ability to do everything that the 49ers were missing from the position a season ago. Despite being 36 years of age, Mack has been consistently healthy, missing a total of 2 games over the last 6 seasons. The importance of this cannot be understated for a unit that thrives on consistency. In addition to being healthy, Mack has demonstrated the ability to be the quarterback of the offensive line for Kyle Shanahan's complex system. The two have worked together previously, first in 2014 with the Cleveland Browns, and then again in 2016 when the veteran anchored the offensive line for an Atlanta Falcons team that reached the Super Bowl. While retaining Williams and bringing on Mack were key moves, San Francisco wasn't done yet with rebuilding their offensive line. After using their first-round pick to draft Trey Lance, the 49ers opened the second day of the draft by selecting Notre Dame guard Aaron Banks. At 6'5" and 338 pounds, Banks is not the size of the prototypical guard in Kyle Shanahan's offense. However, when you turn on the film and watch Banks play, it becomes clear that he has the ability to move well enough in the run game to get down the line of scrimmage and Nasta Pool or up to the second level in the linebackers during the run blocking. As good as the run blocking is from Banks, his pass blocking is on another level. He routinely shows the ability to dominate pass rushers to the point that by the second quarter, opposing defensive coordinators are moving their best pass rushers to other areas along the defensive front to give them an opportunity to find success. The additions of Mack and Banks should help improve the offensive line play from Laken Tomlinson and Mike McGlinchey as well. McGlinchey has had an ever-changing rotation of guards lining up inside of him, and the addition of a former teammate should make the communication necessary to deal with the pass rush the best that it has been during his tenure with the 49ers. All of these upgrades along the offensive line should allow the often talked about 49ers skill position players to shine through in 2021.